Hi Beatrice, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Thank you all for being with us. For those of you who don't know us, my name is Zafira Durblik-Malaya, and I'm the Youth Program Manager at Shalom Bayit.
And I'm Beatrice Balfour, and I'm the preschool director of Gan Shalom Preschool, which is one of the oldest Jewish preschools in the Bay Area.
Thank you so much. So for those of you who are just joining us, this is our second video. We're really excited in our series around creating consent culture from the ground up, focusing on our preschoolers and our littlest littles, and really engaging our youth allies, our parents and educators in how we can create consent culture. So today we're going to focus on the body. And tell me, Beatrice, why is the body so important to talk about at this age?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Zafira. The body is so central to preschool education. Preschool age children often don't have the vocabulary and the self-knowledge to recognize and express how they feel through their words, and so they do it through their body. And so really preschool education is an opportunity, is a key opportunity to teach children about consent and about respecting their own body and other children's body.
Great, I love that. Beatrice and I were thinking about different examples and places where we might interface with this with our little kids. So I thought about it as a mom. One of the places I interface is in the bath. So my kid needs to take a bath. She's got to wash her back, wash her tush. So I always ask her, can I wash your back? Can I wash your tush? So that's really important that I'm asking. It's also important that if she says no, that I'm ready to receive her no and respect it. Watch our last video for more information about that. Because she needs to know that it's her body and she has a right to say no. So if she says no to me, I say, oh, here's the washcloth, you can do it yourself. But then, if she says no, I have to explain to her why it's important. It actually needs to happen. So this is a great educational moment around self-care, around hygiene. So then I'm going to explain to her, because this is key, explain to her why it needs to happen. And if she doesn't want to do it herself, then I'm going to need to do it. And here's why.
Yes, and thank you, Zafira. We do the same at Gan Shalom. When teaching children about consent, we have to preempt if we plan to touch their body, to model that culture of respect and consent around the body. And then we teach children to do that with other children, yeah? To ask for consent before touching them, yeah? And one of the tools that we use for doing this in preschool is the idea of the bubble of safety, yeah? So the idea that this metaphor that our body is contained within a bubble, yeah? And we don't want to pop other children's bubble, yeah? And so in order not to pop other children's bubble, we have to ask for permission when to touch them. And if we touch them unpromptly, without asking them, then we may be popping their bubble. And so say that a child touches another child's body without asking, then the teacher would say, be careful, you're popping their bubble. So you want to show respect to them and to their body and not pop their bubble. So.
And that's a great moment to remind them that next time you need to ask before touching and wait to hear their answer, because they might say no, and that's great. That's just an example of someone taking care of themselves and something that should be celebrated.
Yes, and I want to highlight that we do this also, we model sort of self-care and self-respect also as educators. So say that a child touches a teacher's body in a way that the teacher doesn't feel comfortable with, then the teacher would say, you're popping my bubble, I don't like that, you need to ask. Yeah, so that's also one way in which we teach children about respecting other children's body is by modeling that self-care and self-respect.
I love that. And to some of you, this might seem like a small thing, but it's actually a really big thing that will have a really big impact. So we're talking about on the playground, in the classroom, but these messages translate as our littlest ones get older. And if we're thinking about more serious body situations, like for example, sexual activity, we always want them to know that they should be asked first, that they have every right to speak up and say no. And part of how we're teaching them that is in these little interactions in the classroom, in the bath. So creating consent culture is one in which the prevailing narrative of human interaction is centered around mutual consent and is normalized and condoned in popular culture. And we are a big part of that picture. So please help us create that consent culture, and we thank you for engaging with us in this topic.
Yeah, and thank you, Zafira, and thank you to the Jewish Studio Project for hosting us for this video series.
Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Bye.